Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Iwalumya from GMS Chicago. Come back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and our apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth. And also the brothers and teachers word and sincerity. Once again, this is the brother Iwalumya from the GMS Chicago branch. Come back at you, hitting you with another lesson. Just basically entitled this lesson, in these last days, the Lord is bringing back, back together the southern and the northern kingdom. The Lord is bringing the 12 tribes whole again. Basically, making us one nation again. We're not going by these so-called proverbs, African American, Mexican American, Salvadorian American, Native American. Small terms like that. The Lord is bringing a nation, back together, starting with the elect. So I got this a minute and 17-second clip just to basically show, that that on the carnal side that that the tribes are coming back together in a sense, but the Lord is bringing back the tribes back together, starting with the elect. So I'm gonna play this video because we have to understand that both the southern and the northern kingdom were oppressed together. They go through the same things and they identify with each other. As far as the struggle, they our spirit bear witness. We are the children of the Most High. So let me play this video.
Say it, man. You guys can hate me or not hate me. I'm getting to the point where I really don't care. But indigenous communities, we need to start embracing black communities. It's time that we unify, like now.
Right. If you want really a part of one nation, other nations wouldn't be saying that. You don't see Chinese people saying, let's unite with so-called black people. Throughout the course of history, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, has always been close to one another because at the end of the day, they are the same people. And the Lord, you have to understand history. The southern and the northern kingdom was split. I believe it was during the time of Jeroboam. When the northern kingdom came over to this side of the world. But in these last days, the Lord is bringing back, bringing us whole as a nation again, starting with the elect.
We are much stronger moving as one body. And it seems like right now there's a lot of division between indigenous peoples and black peoples. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't need to happen. If somebody says that they're indigenous or they're claiming first to be here or whatever, it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change who I am. But I will tell you this. I've met thousands and thousands of wonderful black people fighting for the same things that we're fighting for. And it's time we start moving as one.
And you see it, right? The brother bring up the comment. She says, yes, because we are the same people. Israelites. And seeing things like this, boosts my spirit up. Because I know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai that, the Lord is bringing back the nation, as a whole again. But with that being said, jump into some precepts. I'm gonna start off with two, just to basically show you that, we're still under curses as a people. Going back at the Lord, basically divided, the northern and the southern kingdom had, were basically split up. Let me see. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna start off with this one, then I'm gonna jump into, how the Lord is bringing, the nation back together as a whole. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Right, since we're under curses as a whole, us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Lord put curses on us because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, and we basically, went against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why we hate one another. Blacks hate on so-called Hispanics. Hispanics, hate on so-called Native Americans. Vice versa. But as we coming towards the end of this society, the Lord, is basically slowly taking, turning the curses around, upon our enemies. We're starting to identify, with one another again. But the Lord is bringing, first and foremost, the elect. back, towards the forefront. You know, the ones that's in His truth, sincerely, cleaving unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Oh. Right, we're under curses. That's why, we're not we're not one right now. You know, let me see. This is the book of Isaiah 11 and 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Judah is the so-called African Americans, but Judah is also a representation of the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans, and Ephraim is a representation of the northern kingdom. The Lord is slowly taking away those curses. We're no longer going to hate one another as we used to, because the Lord is slowly taking the curses away, and He's slowly, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is bringing the nation closer together. And like I said before, first and foremost, the elect. The Lord is, rebuilding the tabernacles of David, the house of David. Starting with the elect. 12,000, out of each tribe, 144,000, which is the elect, and the innumerable multitude. And like I said before at the start of the lesson, it's happening on the carnal level. You have, even these different protests that you have. When the Southern Kingdom gets, shot and killed by the cop, who's their biggest supporter? The so-called Hispanic and Native Americans. Just to basically show you that, we're the same people, and the Lord is slowly, bringing the nation back together. Because like I said before, once the Southern Kingdom hurt, the Northern Kingdom hurt. If the Northern Kingdom hurt, the Southern Kingdom hurt. Vice versa. This is the book of Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all of them, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Word. At the end of the day, we were oppressed together as a people. We live in the same ghettos together. We're oppressed by the same enemy, which is the so-called white man, and these other nations also, but mainly the so-called white man, which are the E's. And I'm just say just the E's, so this video won't get taken down. Yeah, so we're oppressed together. We fight. We fight the same battle together. But like I said before, every time when a nation went to war, it was always the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom together. Going back into the ancient times. After the whole split and everything happened, the Northern Kingdom separated from the Southern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom came over here to Arsara, which is the Americas today. But like I said, in these last days, the Lord is bringing back the tabernacles of David. And I'm gonna get that. This is the book of Ezekiel 37 and 19. Say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Right, the Lord is bringing the tribes back together. The Lord is taking those curses away, and the Lord is basically basically recreating that bond, between the two kingdoms, the southern and the northern kingdom. We're identifying, who come from each tribe. Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans. Judah, the so-called African Americans. The Lord is basically bringing everything, back together. Starting with the elect, of course. And the Lord is, slowly, fastly at this point is rebuilding the tabernacles of David. Our nation is coming back together. We're going to be one. We're going to be, one nation again. We're not going to go by these, proverbs and bad words. We're not going to be, Mexican Americans. We're not going to be African Americans. We are Israelites. According to the Bible. Amos 9 and 11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Right, the Lord, is rebuilding the nation back again, starting with the elect. We're coming back as one nation again. You know, like I said, these proverbs and bad words are, are no longer going to, going to be a factor, in our nation. We're going to be referred, to as the Israelites, amongst all these nations. Not Mexican American, not Puerto Rican American, not Haitian, not African American, not Native American. We're going to be preferred as one nation, which are the Israelites. You know, the Lord is slowly bringing, the nation back together. The Lord is overturning the curses put upon our enemies, and and like I said, it's happening on the carnal level too. You have you know um, the so-called African Americans, and you have the Mexican Americans, tight knitted, now than never before. And like I said, when these different protests happen, who be by, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi's side. You have the Northern Kingdom, so-called Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Ephraim all the way down to Issachar. Like I said before, the Lord is building up the tabernacles of David, the elect. And I'm gonna close out with this one because in the last days, you know, even when we go against our enemies, the Lord's gonna bring us back together as one. We're gonna be fighting as one people. This is the book of Zechariah 9-13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. Right. When things get down, we're gonna be fighting as one again. Especially against the so-called white man, which are the E's, according to the Bible, which is the devil, according to the Bible. You can read about that, in Job 9-24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, But at the end of the day, we're coming back as one people, one nation, The Lord is making, us a whole nation again, not us, referring to us as different people, The Lord is bringing back the nation, starting with the elect. And like I said, it's happening on the carnal level. It's the video I just showed you with the Gadite woman talking about, the so-called Native Americans being allies with the so-called African Americans, but not knowing, that they're one people at the end of the day. We're one nation, you know. So Lord, I hope this is edifying unto the elect. I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, timeless truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth. And also the blessed teachers who are in sincerity. Lord, I hope this is edifying. The Lord want to come back with another blessing.